It's the World Pokemon League, #1 draft league you could ever see. Getting stronger, yeah, I'm building up my own team. Gotta be the champion, the one you can't defeat. It's the World Pokemon League, #1 draft league you could ever see. Getting stronger, yeah, I'm building up.
What's up, gamers? Welcome back to the WPL Power Spot. This season, the WPL Power Spot is going to be dedicated for Master Ball coverage. So, if you want to check out the Ultra Ball coverage, you can head on over to the Analytic Podcast. That's hosted with Guardian of Light and myself, of course.
Such a good name, by the way, Analytic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's almost as good as Power Spot.
Almost as good as Power Spot. It's not as good as an ability as Power Spot, because everybody knows Stonejourner is just way better than any of the Porygons.
All of them.
Oh yeah, all of them, any of them, and Stonejourner solos effortlessly.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But today we have a draft day analysis team coverage thing going on for you. In the Ultra Ball, like I said when we were recording that, we weren't able to have the transactions before week 1 there because they were at the time of the recording the transaction hadn't gone through. But this is going to be recorded this is being recorded at a later date. So we do have that luxury here. So I do believe the teams that we are covering now do include those transactions that were made. So for this episode, that will be included.
Yeah. Yeah, like we got those transactions that went in last night. This is we're recording it a little earlier in the week. I don't know when you guys are going to be listening. Probably Wednesday or something like that. But yeah, the transactions just went through.
They're listening to us now. They're Big Brother. Everybody else in the league is like an FBI plant, and they're just constantly like wiretapping us.
Nice, and they're also in the future as well. So
yeah, so we can't. That's why we can't see them. That's why it's so hard to schedule with some of them because they're in the future.
Because they're in a different timeline.
Yeah, they're in a whole different time zone.
Marvel Comics universe.
Yeah, like
why did they go to time travel? I'm sorry, man. I'm so bitter.
The time travel. I mean, like it's like once you open up time travel, it just opens up a whole can of worms.
It does.
Like,
and
I'm a big fan of time travel. I'm a big fan of time travel stuff, but like it has to be done right.
Yeah. How do you usually do it?
How do I time travel? I close my eyes and think really hard.
I wish for it, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then Delibird comes along and brings it for anyway.
Yeah, brings it for Smoke and Miss for
nice Smoke and Miss.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna be talking about today? We're just gonna be going over the we're gonna tier each team based on what we think strength of the roster. I don't think we should really get into the player. I think everyone is probably on equal ground right now. Some people have a little more decorated resume than others, but I think anybody can win. That's in the Master Ball division.
Yeah. As the chef from Ratatouille says, anybody can cook.
Well, yeah, anybody can cook in this league. It's just a matter of what tools and ingredients you have. So we'll be going over those. You see that? See what I did there? Tools and ingredients.
Halfway through the season, the stove wasn't on.
You're 0-4. It's like, yeah, the stove wasn't on for the first 4 weeks. I'm good now.
Yeah,
I'm good now.
I'm good.
So we're gonna go.
We've got it to a light simmer.
Oh my god, I still have to watch Ratatouille, but.
Oh my god, Ratatouille is literally one of the best Pixar movies in my opinion.
It's gonna get watched today then.
It's really really good. It's back when Pixar movies had heart.
You just take the podcast and I'm gonna go watch it while you're recording, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go through in the order of, because this is what the Ultra Ball did as well. We're gonna go through the draft order, so like teams by draft position, so 1 through 14. Jenny being first, myself being last. And we're not gonna get into too much detail on what we see synergy wise or synergistically, but we will mention the obvious stuff just because it's obvious, like beat up justified or obvious weakness policy candidates, things like that. But yeah, we might give a little nugget for each team, except mine and yours, right, Space?
Yeah, no secrets. No secrets here.
Yeah. But yeah, without further ado, we got Feisty Phalanx. We're just gonna put her in S because she's awesome. No, I'm kidding. We'll go over the team first. But so this is the team. Actually, Gustavo, I should probably share with you. Oh, yeah, you can see mine. Yeah,
I can see your screen.
Yeah, you can see it. All right. So at first glance, I actually don't have the order she picked everything here, but I just know that Entei was picked first, Bronzong was second. Do you believe that was a good way to start the draft off?
Entei? I mean, you can't go wrong with one of the dogs. Like, or sorry, the beast. Octo just
Oh, the
like
cats,
raises,
dude.
yeah, all the Octo just raises knife at me.
We're only gonna run into that conundrum 3 times this during
Yeah.
this video.
It's funny. I got it right on the Ultra Ball podcast. I called them the beasts.
The better of the 2 podcasts.
Yeah, sure.
The worst of the 2 leagues. What?
But yeah, Entei, I mean, just really, really solid Pokemon. I had it last season where with no Dynamax, where it reliably missed every single Sacred Fire.
Sacred Miss, reliably missed.
Literally Sacred Miss. But with Dynamax, Entei just gets really good. Its stats 115 HP, 115 attack, 100 speed, inner focus. Like this thing is crazy. So really, really good start off to Jet's draft, I'd say. Entei offers a ton of offensive pressure. Can go physical or special. This thing is like unbanned Arcanine.
Yeah. Yeah. See, here's the thing about this format. Like we haven't done Dynamax for a couple seasons, and a lot of other leagues don't do Dynamax. So like, I think we have to remember we have to get our minds back into what Dynamax does for the game. Like Entei, it's a very, very good support Pokemon with like Snarl and Bulldoze and things like that. But at any moment, Entei can Dynamax and wipe something out. And it could just give you the edge that you need in a single turn, so it can just be a nuisance for the first couple turns, and then game 2 comes around, you Dynamax at turn 1 and just obliterate something. Like that's the thing about Dynamax. So I think Entei is a really good, well-rounded Pokemon in a Dynamax format. So I thought it was a really good way to start off the draft. First overall, you definitely weren't getting it second round, so if you wanted it that bad, that's definitely where you get it. And the fact that Bronzong made it back to her after 24 picks or 26 picks later, she was able to get one of the best Trick Room setters in the format too, and in a steel type. So I thought the draft was. I wanted to know what you thought. I already knew what I thought. I was just kind of.
I mean, I loved the Bronzong pick too. I mean, and the rest of the draft rounds out the team pretty well. With A being Entei, Bronzong, Araquanid, B being Pincurchin, Riolu, Raichu, C the Fletchinder, Sceptile, Wartortle. And then for the D tiers, you got Glalie, Skuntank, and Miltank. There's some pretty obvious modes on here, like the Alolan Raichu and Pincurchin. Just Surge Surfer, making Alolan Raichu probably one of the fastest things in this format. Just doubling that speed right off the bat. Riolu just being an enabler with Prankster coaching, Rain Dance, etc.
Yeah.
Fletchinder, Priority Tailwind, Sceptile, and Glalie. I mean, Ice Shard weakness policy unburdened.
Yeah. Those are the ones that.
Araquanid is just a monster too.
Yeah, like the only thing that, like, obviously there's the Pincurchin Raichu combo, then there's the Rain Dance Riolu coaching, all that stuff. Just coach any of these things, they would probably do well. The only concern I might see on this team is maybe a lack of special offense on the team. Like, I do see an average of 71, but it's really hard to enable special attack users other than helping hand and weakness policies. So it doesn't have any raw special offense, and Sceptile special coverage is horrendous. Like, I think it just gets normal and grass. That's it. It might get Mudshot. And Dragon Pulse, yeah, and Mudshot. So like it gets some. So if there was any issue with the team, I would probably say maybe that. I think on the physical side, this thing's just gonna go bonkers, right? It's got everything. Like, Araquanid's incredible. You got coaching, obviously, and Araquanid with its special defense so friggin' high. You can coach that thing and it'll almost be unkillable with doubling its HP and Dynamax. But yeah, I do see a lot of pieces. It might be a little bit too much support in my opinion, but like maybe Wartortle can go, and then maybe get a special attacker in the C tier. But everybody has a different opinion on teams and stuff. I just think this team might be lacking a little bit of offense, but I also know if anyone can make it work, it's Gen A. So
it's Gen A.
It's Gen A. Gen
A.
Every video we'll do it once, but
yeah.
But yeah, do we have any other points without giving out too much on Gen A's team?
No, it is pretty supportive wise. Can't wait to see what that skunk tank does.
She told me before the draft she really wanted it. Its typing is
And she
incredible.
got it.
And she got it. So I was debating. I think I messaged her midway through the draft. I'm like, "Are you still getting it?" She goes, "Yes." I went, "All right, I won't then," because I was sniped so many times, as were many other people. So I was kind of scrambling. Skunk Tank was definitely one I was looking at. So like Snarl, and the typing is just really good. So I'm curious. I just want to see it. It's making its debut in the WPL. It's never been picked, and yeah, I think I do want to go over what hasn't been picked ever, and I think Skunk Tank's one of them on this team. So when we get to them,
Yeah.
we'll mention it. But so where would you personally put? I should double these up, by the way, because you're gonna have a different opinion than me. Personally,
We can find some middle ground.
I think I would put Gen A's team in the C tier. Just 'cause I know it's a really rough way to start it off. I just think it's missing offense. And I think that it might struggle. There's going to be, like, once we get into some of the other teams, foreshadowing a little bit, I think she might be lacking a little bit of raw offense. And I'd put her in the C tier just for now, but we do have 5 free agent moves. Where would you put her?
For Gen A, I personally think because of the player, Gen A deserves to be in the A tier.
Well, I didn't want to mention
We are talking about purely
just the
the
teams.
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking about purely the roster. So I think
You're allowed to be mean, by the way.
I think C. I want to say B or C tier.
So would
but
you
since
put it?
went with,
So why don't we put it high C, because we'll also rank in the middle of.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I think high C because there's still modes that are pretty scary that if your team isn't ready for, you're just gonna get run over.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe low C, low B. Like we'll put it on like the
Yeah.
far end of B or something. But we'll leave it in
Yeah.
C for now, because I think she does. We'll see how the rest of the teams kind of go. And but speaking of low tiered teams, let's get into the Space City PC.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely the definition of low tier. Yeah, one of the Space City PC, one of the Ultra Ballers who moved up.
I
But
do
yeah,
like
I'll
your
let you
team.
take this one. I don't really want to talk about my team. So I'll
Yeah,
let you just-
I'll give away a little nugget, about everyone's team. Maybe something that you're just like, I didn't know it could do that, or whatever it might be. But I really like your team. I do. I think it has a really really nice core. Like your top tiers are, your A, Bs, and Cs are phenomenal. I think your Ds you kind of made do, which are really good as well. I think they like a Galarian Corsola is a really really nice wall. And it's
considering Spirited was B tier.
yeah, exactly. So Galarian Corsola, I think, could be a monster, if you're not ready for it. But I don't think there are many teams that have the top tier strength that yours does. Naganadel or Naganadel, whatever. Serena, Swampert, Bisharp, Gardevoir, Magmortar, and then Rotom Frost in, offense and support. Like, I think this is a solid A/S team, in my opinion. I think... And I didn't even think of this before just now, but I don't see any holes. I don't.
I see Serena and Gardevoir. I see.
Yeah, like I see like a lot of like in looking at you see, and we were talking about Gen A's team with a lack of natural offense.
There's a big hole in Magmortar's hand right there.
Oh my god, yeah, there it is right there. We should zoom in on it. No, I can't do that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have enough raw offense. I think you have really good support. You might be lacking a little bit in the speed control department, but you do have Icy Wind on the Persian. But
Yeah,
I think
Persian's
you
also
have
really fast.
and your slow mode isn't uber slow. So that if I had to pick
Yeah.
something apart, so I would probably say you're a high A tier, in my opinion, just because I think your team has a lot of offense. It's going to be really hard to set up on you.
I think the team is a little frail.
Yeah.
But I think part of that nature is because of the format we're in.
Yeah, like it depends what you wanted. I do think you have enough. Like you've got 100, 100, 100, and by the way, that 100 on Corsola is a lot higher.
Disgusting. It's just,
And then Serena, Slowbro, Swampert, Dreadnought. Like I think you have enough defensive coverage. Like especially getting into some of the other teams we're gonna get into, they just don't really have it. I think you have you're probably one of the upper tier bulk teams. By the way, I know it might seem low.
really, it might.
Like once we get into like averages and stuff, which we didn't really do, but
Yeah.
like your average of 82 and 83 in your defensive categories is pretty good, and your offense 92 average and 88 average. I think that's a really good That's a really good way to build a team. And before off camera, we actually were saying that, or I was saying, I don't know if you agreed with me. You just kind of kept quiet, which means you probably didn't. I feel like the better teams are going to be the teams that got the most out of their D tiers.
That's I do agree with that. Yeah.
Because some teams are just going to be never using them. So you've got a
I
squad
kind
of
of just
9.
said. I kind of just said. We can say fuck, right?
Yes, it's not on my
Yes.
personal YouTube channel, so go for it.
Vitor and Pumpkin, cover your ears.
Crap, damn fart.
Yeah. But yeah, I said fuck it and picked Sharpedo and Dreadnought. I literally didn't know what else to do with my D tiers.
Well, the nugget I'm going to give away about your team is everybody look out for Destiny Bond Sharpedo. That's what I'm going to say.
Everybody look out for Destiny Bond Corsola.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, actually. Any Pokemon
So,
that gets Destiny
so-
Bond and is really, really frail, I think everybody needs to be aware of it. The only
Blackberry.
yeah, it doesn't work with Dynamax, though, so you can't do it against a Dynamax Bond. So if you're thinking about being sneaky... Oh, but that's you. That's you. Never mind. Yeah, don't worry if you're Dynamax. You don't have to worry about it. Anyway, but that's the one nugget about his team that I would say that people might not know about. But there are a bunch of other things this team could do. I personally, I don't know if you want to rate your team as well, but I would put you high A
I
and
put mine
borderline
probably
S.
A because of just because of the lack of speed control that I have.
Yeah, you've got 115 speed on your Persian, so I think it's enough. Like that's the best I've got on my team. I've got Starmie.
Yeah,
but,
there isn't a lot of Tailwind users going around, so
no, yeah, there's a couple. Hence why Jenny grabbed the Fletchinder. It's kind of a like I was looking at Fletchling, not gonna lie, in the D tier. Just hey, it's a D tier roll.
Okay, Justin. Okay.
Yeah, really. But yeah, I'd put you high A. I wouldn't put many above you in the A tier because like I think you have like a really, really in your face don't set up on me team, and I think that's really valuable.
It looks pretty hyper offensive. It looks like it's just gonna come out swinging. Like lead the wrong thing, hey bud, you got to deal with a Max Sagadadel. And it's going to be, I feel like the team is going to be just teams in general this season, I think is just going to be pretty dependent on the lead. And if you can snowball from there, or if you could stop their snowballing.
Yes. Yeah, I think Naganadel does that really well as well. So we'll have to, second overall pick, Naganadel, one of the more sought after things in the draft. I think if it didn't go 2, it would have gone 3. So, and if it didn't go 3, it was going to go 4. If it didn't go 4, it was
gonna... considering who got 3, it literally would have not gotten past 3.
Friggin' Will. Anyway,
he wanted that thing so bad. He was like,
he was
coping. He was like any per chance, and I was like, no.
No, you knew what you wanted the second the draft order came out. You're like, Jenny, are you getting Naganadel? And it was like, no. Okay, I'm getting it. No question. I'm getting it. Are you sure?
Yeah,
are you sure you're not getting it? Are you
no,
sure?
I've never used it before, but like I'm excited to use it.
You should be. It's gonna be fun. I have personal experience.
It looks really cool too.
Yeah, it looks like a syringe. Like it's against COVID.
Get ready for all the COVID vaccine nicknames.
Love them. But moving on to the next team, we've got yours tiered. We've got Texas Land Sharks. Let's just throw that in low D.
And the D.
So, I talked a lot about your team. What do you think about Will's team?
It is a very Will team.
Because it wills its way to a win.
Yeah, you look at it and you're like, you can tell who drafted it. Like there are a few teams that are like that. This is one of them.
Is it because Raikou's first?
Yes, because it was a funny position to be in because I personally don't think Raikou is first pick worthy in a normal draft. But considering like this is a budget format, and the versatility that Raikou really allows, Raikou is a really good pick for first overall in this format. So I really like that Raikou pick. He's honestly a really, really solid team. Corviknight, Scrafty, Drifblim, Seismitoad, Guzzlord, Electivire, Centiskorch, which everybody had their eye on. Berserker, Cragganol, Golduck, Blossom. This team, I'd say, looks a little weird. There's not some synergy right off the bat, but I feel like this team needs it needs to be able to get off a max move in order to set up.
Yeah, this is a very max team, like Electivire, Guzzlord,
Mhm.
Seismitoad,
Yeah,
things like that. Like,
everything here could really max. Raikou can max, or Corbin. I don't know about Scrafty, Drifblim, Seismitoad, Guzzlord, Electivire, Scorch,
Berserker. Let's not forget about
Berserker.
Berserker. That thing is a
Yeah,
monster if it gets going. I think that thing is so much offense in the C tier that I thought that was a really good pick. The Drifblim I don't get, not on this team. I get it on other teams. I just don't get it on this one.
mhm.
I know it gets Tailwind, but and then you can Sucker Punch it or whatever, or Shadow Sneak. I
Yeah.
don't know what. Just without looking, I don't see a Sucker Punch user actually. But Brutal Swing is a thing. But I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that the Drifblim can go. I've never been a Drifblim fan. I'm Guzzlord, by the way, first appearance. Just saying, it's never
Really?
been used. I'm really excited to see it. It looks
I mean,
really cool.
Dragon Dark is it gets like 200 HP or something like that.
223.
Yeah,
So the cool thing about Guzzlord is you don't even you don't even have to invest EVs in the HP ever. You can just throw it into your offense and then split the defenses and go. Like I think it gets like how much HP does it get? I think it gets like if it's Dynamax, I think it's in the 700s, which is ridiculous.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, like I think it gets like 303. No, that would be 606. Never mind. It's really I've got Showdown right here. Whatever. Guzzlord 298. Okay, so yeah, well 303. I was right. No, no, like anything with like almost 600 HP is just insanity. So I think this thing, it's lower defenses, yes, but like Beast Boost, all it has to do is just KO one thing, and good luck killing this thing. Have
Yeah,
a fairy
and
type.
not to mention, fairies are few and far between. Like as is fairy coverage.
Well, speaking of which, the only fairy move I see on this team is Moonblast Blossom. Oh, and
Wow.
play ref Berserker. Never mind.
Yeah,
But yeah, like so just so people are aware, like offensive coverage is yes, the type chart's nice and these stats are really nice, but like I think people should definitely have a look and see what offensive coverage they're missing. I do it every season. And you'll be surprised what you don't have until you need it. So
yeah.
but yeah, I do think Will's got he's got enough offense. I think he's got some interesting support, which I think could work. This team would be very hard to prep against. What do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I wouldn't. I don't think I faced this team during the regular season, and I hope not to because there's what I like about this team is that it has a lot of versatility with its max options. So if one doesn't work, he could just change up the game plan to just kind of counter whatever's on the team on the other side. So I I think this is a very good max team.
I agree. I do see 4 quad weaknesses on 4 Pokemon. So that's another thing. So a third of your team has a quad weakness. 2 of them have the same one. So that might be something. It's when I had Mega Swampert last season. It was a game of playing a game of find the grass move, and
Yeah.
once I found out that what had them, I was kind of ready for it. So I think as long as he plays and preps like that, he should be okay. But it's going to be really hard to sneak a Guzzlord and a Scrafty by a team when they share a quad weakness and they're both really threatening. So we'll have to see how he plays it. Maybe some moves are on the horizon. Who knows? But that being said, where would we put Texas Landsharks on this list?
On just the team, probably in the B tier.
I was going to put him right smack dab in the middle because
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot of really nice pieces. I think he can play it, a lot of different ways, but he doesn't have like that super sexy mon on his team. He doesn't have that one.
He's gonna hear this and he's gonna be like, Raikou is right there.
Raiku's good. Raiku's probably one of the most versatile Pokemon in the format, and I think that's something. But it's a jack of all trades, master of none. Like Raiku's not really great at anything. It's just really good at a lot of things. So I think, and I think that's what makes this team kind of be worthy. But we might be moving some of these around as we start putting things in. But it's nice we got a little bit of strength diversity over here with the A, B, and C picks. But
diversity is what makes us strong.
yes, we that's what we're all about in the WPL. Yeah.
We value diversity above all things.
Speaking of like diversity. I'm going to segue every team, by the way.
Yeah,
this
just,
is a,
just no matter how horrible it may be. Like,
yeah. This is speaking of this. Speaking of Lycanroc, it's like what?
Yeah.
I remember there was one that we were like, speaking of pieces of shit, and we just went on to the next. But so okay, so I'm just gonna keep asking you this: what do you think of the Galactic Porygons? Finished middle of the pack last season. I think he got.
They made they made playoffs and got third place by default. But hey, it's still it was still third place.
They finished third place. I forgot how they finished.
No, in the playoffs because
I meant middle of the pack in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what that means,
Sean,
but
it was him and Sean, and then Sean was like, "Oh, you can have it."
Oh, that was the bronze medal game. That was
the bronze medal. I mean, like, hey, we just like to do it for fun.
Yeah,
it's like what I always tell people is like, hey, dude, just do the memes that you didn't get to do. Like, just
that's usually what the third place match is for, especially in the Master Ball division where it really means nothing other than bragging rights. The third place game
means nothing.
In the Ultra Ball division is a little bit more on the line. It's a seat at the table.
Not anymore.
Not last season because we needed a last minute guy, so we brought up.
And then shout out to Draco.
Yeah, Quaxley is. I think it's actually the next team, so we'll rip into his Ultra Ball tier team later.
But, for Pumpkin's team,
another dog, cat beast.
Yeah, Suicune is definitely first pick worthy. Suicune just being a bulk god in Inner Focus. Everybody knows that Inner Focus Tailwind is like an amazing combination to have because it means you're getting it up no matter what.
If you throw a Mental Herb on this thing, you're getting Tailwind up because you're not OHKOing it, B you're not taunting it, and C you're not faking it out.
Yeah, its special attack is 90. So at Suicune, honestly, I had it in a max league I used to be in. I think it was UGA. And this thing being able to it can offer as a max Pokemon as well, but it's mostly used for support. Suicune is just super annoying. When it's on the other side of the field, it's bulky, it lives forever. And on the plus side, it's going to be spamming Snarls, Icy Winds, Scalds. Yeah. And
it has a bunch of different ways to run it, and
it's so good.
Calm Mindsets too are really scary on that thing as well. It's like you can kind of run a Suicune like you run a Finny.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Yeah, except the no misty terrain.
The misty terrain. Yeah. Could you imagine if Suicune got it? Imagine a Pokemon with that bulk and that offense and got Misty Terrain. Could you imagine? Can you imagine it?
That's crazy. Imagine. This post was made by Tapu Fini Gang.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the Suicune and Mamoswine Sylveon. I am a huge fan of this combination of Mamoswine and Sylveon. Any ground type with Sylveon, really, they cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. Being able to threaten each other's
poison and the steel.
Steel. Yeah, that Sylveon doesn't really want to see. They don't really want to see a Mamoswine. I think that combination is really, really good. Mamoswine, I believe we talked about it in the draft preview kind of thing. Whatever our last episode was, whatever we called it.
Sure.
Ice and Ground is really, really good coverage because it can hit every type neutrally in the game. So I'm a big fan of his let's say top 1, 2, 3, his top 6. I like Suicune, Mamoswine, Sylveon, Tangrowth, Buzzwole, Cofagrigus.
Buzzwole.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about Buzzwole.
First of all, this thing's never been picked until just now. So
yeah, budget season.
Yeah, I think if there's any season this thing can go off, it's definitely this season. This thing scared me off from picking it, even because of B tier, having something with stats like that, 139s in the defense and attack, and its special defense is it's higher than Kartana's. So if Kartana can work, yes, Kartana hits a lot harder, but I wouldn't let the special defense scare me away. Throw an Assault Vest or just max Quake with it, you should be okay. But my only concern with it is, in a max format, the prevalence of Airstream. That is my only concern with Buzzwole. Anything quad weak to flying is a little concerning. So that would scare me off. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I think that if you set up a light screen or something, or you know, set up a light screen. or
Yeah, or
Mammoth
if you
Swine.
somehow if you somehow you got a light screen up.
Yeah, or light screen. You didn't consider that? Yeah, I think that Buzzwole could go off. But it does get the coverage it needs to hit those flying types, but it might be a little too late. So he's got Tangrowth as well for the redirection just to protect it, but unfortunately safety goggles kind of get around that. So I think there's some pieces here. I think the Magneton's a little interesting. It's never been. I don't think Magneton's been picked ever. I don't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Probably for a good reason, but prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
not a single overlap in typing, by the way. I don't think we've seen that yet.
ooh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And the only type he's missing is Poison, the worst offensive type in the game. So there's stab everything except for Poison. So I think that's pretty nice as well, which means the type chart looks okay as well. I don't think there's an excess of more than one in any category, and some of them are the lower tiers like Lopunny and Magneton give it 2 of its fighting weaknesses. So the lower and Purloin.
Yeah, that's always like weaknesses are always conditional. It's depending on what you bring.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't worry too much about the type chart on this team. Yeah.
On any team, really.
Well, yeah, some of them it's a little concern. Like I think on my team, like right now, I've got like 4 of my top tiers are all weak to fighting, and that's a problem. I can't have a close combat take out all my threats. Like, so that's one concern. But I do think there's some fun things on this team. Purloin, anything with Prankster is always fun. You got the copycat Trick Room you could do if you really wanted to. You got a poor fake out user, but a fake out user, but Lopunny's there as well, in all of its glory. But yeah, I think Purloin could be a lot of fun and enable quite a few of these things. Doesn't get Tickle, but it does get fake tears, which makes everything that's a special attacker much stronger. So, do you have any 2 cents on this Rusta?
I think Turtonator, Dragonfire is an amazing type.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, it gets rid of a lot of weaknesses that fire has. Lopunny can be really annoying with Klutz.
Yes.
So can't wait to see who gets who's on the receiving end of Klutz eject button.
Get rid of that thing. That's all I know is get rid of it. Because it gets T-Wave. It's bulky enough to survive. It gets Teeter Dance. Like it gets Charm. Like it doesn't get any Icy Winds. So that's one downside of it. It's this thing survives hits that you don't think it'll survive until you actually use it on it.
Yeah.
And this thing, it's a D tier that can just paralyze your entire team pretty quickly and survive some hits, and it's got some shenanigans as well. And fake out, like I said, 105 speed. After you at 105 speed could be sneaky as well. We'll have to see how Galactic Porygons wants to use it, but I do see some fun things. Sigilif is a lot of fun to use as well. Kofa is kind of fun as well. So overall, a very fun team, I think, except for the Magneton. Screw that thing.
Yeah, I think he'll have fun. We'll see. We'll see how it does. I'm a bit skeptical of the Lycanroc Dusk, but I mean, other than that, he should be fine. He should have a fun team. He's a good player,
Yep.
so I think he'll do. I think he'll do just fine.
So how fine will he do?
I think put him in the 8. I think put it in the A tier.
I was gonna say low A as well because I think it's got the raw offense. I think it's got some pieces.
The logo cut off too. I like the.
Yeah, it's this create a WPL Master Ball Division tier thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I see Tailwind, I see Slow Mode, I see a really good Trick Room setter, I see Fake Out, and I see Raw Offense. I see a hell of a offensive spectrum here. So I do see a very good team. I think A to low A. I wouldn't put it in the same category as yours, but I think it is still A tier worthy. But speaking of being promoted from the Ultra Ball.
Yeah, speaking of, so there we go. Next up we have Quaxley Hotspurs, who this is Draco this season. I believe last season he was God, what was his old team name? I already forgot.
Oh, he was first one to think of it wins. Swindon Rookies.
Swindon Rookies, I won.
Right. My mic cut out. That cheated.
I unplugged your mic.
So what do you think of this team? I see a lot of frail mons, but I also see some nice pieces.
I see big, bulky things that aren't going to go down easy. At the top, I mean, Snorlax Gigantamax. Oh my god,
And redirection with Togetic.
Uh-huh. Beat up Justified with Terrakia, that's Salazzle.
Yeah. And then you've
free
got
Trick
the
Room with Slowbro.
free Trick Room. I love it.
Literally, because Slowbro can't be taunted. You gotta kill it.
Well, and if you go Togetic Slowbro, that's as guaranteed of a
even
Trick
more
Room is.
guaranteed, yeah.
I think it's really good. Like I think he's got the Jolteon's really nice and the Excelgor is really nice. Like we got the Maractus there. It's protecting the Palisand and the Terrakion. I think Maractus could be sneaky.
You got a Excelgor Palisand.
You did, and we won't really get into what it does. If you don't know what it does, just Google it, and you'll see. It was the meta at one point in early Sword and Shield, but it can just look out for those two, Water Shuriken and stuff. Impidimp. What do you think of the Impidimp pick?
It doesn't get screens, as I
It
found
doesn't
out.
get screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's a D tier. You know, I think we kind of have to take the D tier with a grain of salt and just we just have to look at who got the most out of their D tiers. But I do think Impidimp is a roll. Like it's fake out, it gets fake tiers. Okay. I think it got Sucker Punch, which could have a use. Could have a use. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he could. It's weakest policy Slowbro.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like fake out Trick Room and then you Sucker Punch the Slowbro and max it. I think that could be a thing as well. But the Jolteon I think is my little dark horse on this team. I think Dynamax Jolteon, as we saw Wolfie do, I think is incredible. 130 speed, and it gets just enough coverage too. Like it gets Ghost, it gets Electric, it gets normal. Like I think it gets Grass as well.
It's Grass now, I think.
Yeah. So I think this thing has just enough, and especially with partners to enable it, we'll have to see. Hey, Impidimp, fake out Dynamax Jolteon, and then next fake tiers and just keep hitting things. I think Impidimp still gets Trick as well. Let me just check. Impidimp, does it get Switcheroo or Trick?
Does it get anything?
It does get Trick. It gets nothing. So there are some things you can trick onto your opponents to make, Jolteon a lot stronger. We won't mention what they are, but I think he's got some nice pieces here. I think this is a high B team, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely has a couple pieces that it needs to be able to go off. Some frailer ones. I think. I don't know about the Impidimp and the Garbodor.
Yeah, Garbodor, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Slowbro with Bulldoze.
It is a Gigantamax.
Yeah, the weak armor and stuff like that. I forget how people activated it. Was it Bulldoze?
Yeah.
Yeah, because does it get a weak armor boost for the speed with Bulldoze? Because I don't know if Bulldoze is contact. Or is weak armor just... 1 second. Weak armor... If a physical attack hits it, so it'll get +2 speed and +2 attack or special attack. So yeah, that's a lot of modes to look out for. One is direct, like a few of them are directed, Excelgor Palisand, a few of them are Bulldoze based, and Beat Up is directed.
I think this team can go in the high B tier.
I think it belongs in B. Why don't we just split? Let's put it. Do you think it's a little bit better than Texas's team? I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it there for now. I'm not even sorry, Will. Eat shit.
It's just a formal apology. I don't mean it.
He doesn't mean it. I'm doing it to save face. It's all good. You know what we haven't been touching on is any trades that have been made. I think we've been lucky in the first 5 didn't make any trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got really lucky.
That's about to change with
so
with our next pick.
Our next one
team.
Yeah, is intentional.
Is the sussy little baka himself, the little Among Us fungus of the WPL.
Ooh, I like that intro. Can I get one like that?
Sure, yeah.
You gotta make one up now.
As in the sleigh bells jingling.
So, speaking of little kids,
speaking of venting imposters.
Yes. What were the moves that were made? We had
Gigalith and Stoutland.
Gigalith and Stoutland was on this team. Gigalith was dropped for Sneasel, clearly to go with the Mudsdale, and just really nice speed control, and just a pain with inner focus, as we mentioned. And then Magnezone was grabbed in place of, what was it? Rotom Mo? That's what it was.
Which was a snipe to me. Like, which one? picked Serena because Rona Mo got.
Oh, you
Hey,
wanted Mo. I was just like, you
I
were going to pick it
wanted-
up?
Well, I mean that's the nature of the draft. If things go, then you change your team, and then if they drop it, you don't get tempted. Um,
Well, and then he dropped the
Stronger.
Stoutland for the Jellicent. Stoutland could have been
Yeah.
used without, I guess he just wanted a better Trick Room setter, or yeah, other than Articuno. So I think that was a good move overall. I'm not a huge Jellicent fan, but I do think that it looks really nice as a Trick Room setter if that's what it's doing. And then you got Water Spout and stuff like that. So any team with Alchemy on it is anything. You could even, excuse me, you can decorate your Persian and probably do well. So
yeah,
that's the thing about decorate. You could scarf it and then you just decorate things. It's you just pick something to decorate. Kling Clang with Clear Body, you
Yeah.
can't lower its
If you-
stats. So
yeah. It's same with the Tentacruel.
yeah, like I do think that. Hold on, let me just change.
Let's still decorate. Good luck.
Appleton. I just want to make sure that the stats come up. There we go. Yeah, so anything with Sneasel Mudsdale is really scary, man. I don't want to face him. I don't want to face it. I think Mudsdale is just it can ruin this entire format. Why did I not ban it?
Yeah, well, Naganadale's not banned, so yeah, you should have banned Mudsdale, one of the Naganadale answers.
Naganadale's just like yeah, ban Mudsdale.
Yeah, it's like do it. That's like ban Articuno Galar too.
Yeah. So yeah, they both kind of heard it. Yeah, I guess Naganadale does not want to see Vitor's team right now. I guess.
Yeah, but that's fine because Naganadale's, contrary to popular belief, it's not the only thing that I drafted.
Well, you only got one Pokemon. That wasn't very smart.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So look at first glance. What's your opinion of this team? Like, would you say it's pretty balanced, or?
I think it sucks.
Yeah, it's
No,
awful.
I think this is, like I said with Texas, this is the case of anybody can Dynamax except the Sneasel.
Hey, 95 attack. Let's go.
Yeah. Even then, I think this team is pretty well balanced. Articuno kind of deters. Articuno, as a competitive Pokemon, deters any sort of stat lowering moves, be that as a side effect of a Gigantamax, or a Dynamax move,
Yeah.
or just in general. Articuno Galar, I think, is one of the better Pokemon in this format. Mudsdale is just an absolute monster. In any sort of Dynamax format, that thing is impossible to kill once it gets the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And just to add, what's it called? I can't think of the phrase, but just to add cheese to the nachos. There's
Wow.
Alchemy. Yeah, I literally couldn't think of. It's like just to add something to the something, but I forgot what it was.
I didn't
so-
mind it. It wasn't bad.
No, I think I'm
Add
onto
cheese to
something
the
here.
nachos. I love it.
Yeah. The alchemy that is just able to enable pretty much anything with decorate, and like I said this on the Ultra Ball podcast, but you weren't there. But I really like alchemy because it forces 50-50s. It's you either don't target it and it gets a decorate off, or you target it and congrats, you got alchemy dead, but now whatever was next to it gets to go off.
Yeah, I'd probably
Um,
kill that alchemy first. Like, I think that's the lesser of two evils. Like,
Yeah, I think Vitor's just gonna do the fastest protect of his life.
and Aroma Veil is really nice too because it protects the whole side of the field. So like Jellicent Alchemy as a lead could be really nice. That way you can't fake out the Jellicent, you can't taunt the
Taunt it.
Jellicent, and you don't need to rely on Mental Herb with the Alchemy there as well, right? On the Jellicent. So, and it's got enough special bulk, so you just look for the physical Dark or Ghost move that can KO this thing, or Grass, and then yeah, you just put that berry on there, and that's a guaranteed as Trick Room as you're gonna get. So if you want it up, he gets it up. So I do
Yeah.
think that's really good. Persian, I think, is one of the better D tiers, if not the best D tier when it comes to support. I think having
Oh yeah, that thing is it's a Alolan Persian in the D tier.
yeah, it doesn't get Snarl though, unfortunately, but it does
Yeah,
get
but it gets everything else. It gets
yeah, it gets the fake out. It doesn't get Parting Shot, so everything else.
yeah, but it gets Charm. You can make do with Persian. I mean,
I think it's
any tier-
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah,
In the D tier, I think it's really, really good. But we have the A tier Alolan Persian, and then you have the D tier Persian. So I think he got really good value in the D tier. Like, yes, it's missing some things, but But yeah, like I think Persian is just incredible in the D tier, and we'll just have to see it go. And then you got little Emolga over there making its WPL debut. What do you think of that?
I think it's cute.
I do.
I don't think it's very useful. I don't think it's very...
Pikachu's better.
But yeah, Pikachu ratio. Um, but I mean, it's got a good typing, electric, flying. I guess if that's what that's what Vitor. I almost called him Rotom. I
You replaced the Rotom with Emolga.
Yeah, if that's what Vitor really wants, or wanted,
That's
which
what
was
Vitor
that was that
gets.
offensive typing. Then Emolga's pretty good just for that. I don't know what it can really do.
It's literally a
offensively.
Zapdos.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's budget Zapdos as everybody famously called it.
It even gets
Um,
static. I just realized that.
It gets so
Zapdos.
good luck hitting it. Yeah.
Dynamax turn 1. Yeah, so where would we put Vitor's team on here?
I think Vitor is the inaugural D tier.
Yeah, let's just put him down there. I'll just leave him.
Yeah, it's just
I'd say low A, low A, high B.
A
I think
tier. Yeah.
I'd say low A. I think he's got
Yeah.
a really nice team, but I also think aside from the Mudsdale, Sneasel, and Articuno, I'd say that a lot of other things need help getting going.
I think Jellicent's cool. Alcreby's cool. I'm not really a huge fan of the Magnezone, and this is coming from somebody who has him in another draft. He has a lot of weaknesses to ground. Even though it shows as a net neutral. I mean the type coverage, the type chart's beautiful. He did a good job of being able to cover each other's weaknesses there. But I think when it comes to teams like this, you kind of just pick and choose what looks good against your team, and then how do you counter that? But yeah, I think his team is good. It's fine. It has some nice pieces. Some things leave me scratching my head. Just like I don't think Cling Clang's as good as he thinks.
No, yeah, I think it needs weakness policy or something, but we'll have to
Yeah.
see him use it.
Yeah, we'll have. I mean, if anybody can prove us wrong, especially it's Vitor.
Please don't. Please don't prove
yeah.
us wrong. But so speaking of the Ultra Ball champion,
Yeah.
let's go on to Glorious Shadows. His second, I think it's his second time ever playing Draft League. The first one being where he won. This is the only team.
The one where nobody thought to counter rain.
Yeah, he went like hard rain. Now he
And
decided to go sun.
it worked for him, and it really worked for him.
Hey, he Mega Swampert for the win.
Yeah, exactly.
This is one of the only teams. I actually think I saw Mudsdale picked, and I'm like, I need something against that. This is the only team I went, oh crap, he drafted Regidrago. I literally need something to go up against it if I end up facing him. And yes, I end up facing him in the regular season, which I'm just glad I picked something to face it, because if you don't have something against the Regidrago, you just lose.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those mons that, by the way, not a single quad weakness on his team. A lot of other weaknesses, but no quads.
No quad. That's good.
That's a lot of red. I just realized that's a lot of red.
Yeah, but I feel like especially in this format, with the type chart, I don't think the type chart matters as much as it did in Nomax, because here I feel like the weaknesses don't really matter as long as you can answer them offensively.
Airstream though.
Yeah, but what Airstream user wants to see a Rotom Heat?
That's true. An Airstream user that gets water moves or rock moves.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. It's a simple answer. I think Tornadus is actually, I think it's one of the things that stood out for me on this team, other than Regidrago. I think Tornadus is a lot of people look at it that it's not, it's, the incarnate version, so it's not very good. It has 121 speed and 110 special attack. It gets coverage for days on the special side, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people really need to respect this thing, especially with Stab Airstream.
Yeah, not to mention him putting this on a Sun team. That's Tornadus, you usually see it on Rain.
Yeah, with hurricanes and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I think this thing could even flare to get the Sun up as well. So he's got the Ninetales. He's got the Ninetales, the Tornadus as a Dynamax option, and Sunny Day as well, and Rotom Heat to all set the Sun. So I think there are some nice things. The Leafeon is a physical Lilligant, basically, in a sense that it can just Dynamax and be really fast on the physical side. And Lilligant is just really annoying with double speed sleep powders and stuff and after use. So Yeah, I think this is a really, really nice team. He did go a little one-dimensional as well with Sun, but it worked. So why not?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. It worked for him last season, so it should work again this season.
Hmm.
I think the Toxapex, just wanted to highlight that one real quick. I think if you position that, that can be really, really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kill its partners and see. But Toxapex it's so bulky too, and I think there's some sneaky stuff as well it can do to give it crazy offense. I forget what it was, but I think there was a move it got that just kind of gave it like not like power swap or something. Not power swap. What's the one? Power trick. It doesn't get power trick, but it gets something like that. I forget how somebody on a ladder. I remember there was a team somebody used on the ladder and made Toxapex like crazy Dynamax. I don't remember how it was, but if you're curious, look it up. But I just don't. I just remember there was a way to get it going, so I think look out for it. I think it was Merciless, maybe
Yeah.
Merciless Toxapex. I forget what it does, but we'll leave that. Torracat, actually, by the way,
Yeah, this is where the Torracat went.
double Intimidate on this team, so this is where all the Intimidate went. But yeah, I think that Torracat was looked at by a lot of people and was surprised it went as late as it did. But I do think this team, yeah, this team's pretty nice. I think on the special side, it has enough, even though its average is really low. Like, but it's got, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threats, and then Ninetales sets its own sun and goes off. And yeah, I think this team could be really scary. Would you put this middle of the pack, or would you put it a little higher?
Uh, Honestly, I kind of want to put it in the low B or high C
Ooh, high
because of how,
C.
just how one dimensional it is.
That's fair. I think I'm not opposed to putting it there. I was thinking middle anyway, so C tier is kind of middle, so I'm not
Yeah.
opposed to that. So speaking
But
of
I
what,
mean,
yeah,
he could probably just play around it too. So all these teams that we're putting, if you consider it low, like this is just us shitting around. So feel free to
Yeah.
prove us wrong.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's boring if we just say everyone's average, and
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear that crap. So we're halfway through. So maybe we'll just kind of roll through these ones a little bit.
Yeah.
but we got-
Speaking of heavy weather,
Yeah, speaking of weather teams, we have the Pelipper.
oh, Aaron T. Marshall.
I think I was really disappointed with this team, personally. I think that he got the most out of his D tiers. I think Flareon, Glaceon, Vileplume are very good when it comes to, making the most out of the D tier. I just think that when he got Pelipper and then he got Barraskewda, I just kind of went, okay, like, he's drafting a lot of support. Like, he's got the Cottony, he's got the Butterfree, he's got the Pikachu, the Shedinja,
There's not a ton of
Obsidian,
offense on this team.
yeah, that's my only concern. And then Registeel, like, so I think everything kind of needs to be enabled. Like, I think you got the Barraskewda, which is really scary, but aside from that,
Pelipper, Registeel, Barraskewda, Pikachu, Butterfree seem really good to me.
yeah, like if anyone can make it work, I think it's Aaron. And it's becoming a cliche now that we're saying, oh, if anyone can make it, it's like a nice thing to say for team that we don't like. If anyone can make it work, it's this one guy. But I just think that I'd probably make this the first D tier team. I think.
Wow.
Just because I don't like, we were talking about enough raw offense. Like, if your offense is Flareon, Barraskewda, like, you got Glaceon as well and Vileplume, but like, those are the two. If you're relying on your D tiers for your special offense, yeah, it's got the fake tiers and stuff like that. Aaron, I'm so sorry. You're one of the nicest guys on the earth, but I think your team needs some help. But yeah, like, there's some fun on it. The team definitely looks very fun to use, but I don't know if it's gonna get the job done.
I feel like the Bear, even though the offense is a little lacking, I think the Barraskewda is going to be offense enough.
Yeah, so you can't, it's really frail.
Yeah,
that's my only thing. Like, if you can get the Barraskewda or even get Trick Room up, I think you just win. So we'll have to see how he plays it.
Butterfree being there just is going to annoy things. I feel like that thing's going to be really annoying.
Yeah, like I think he's got the Ditto, so you can't really set up on him because he'll just take your setup. He's got the sun, you know, with he's obviously not going to be setting the sun a ton unless it's Cottony, but like I think Vileplume is more of a defense against the opposite weather, but
Yeah.
but I do think like the Shedinja, if you're not ready for it, like, or if you don't have something for it, he just wins. Like you literally can't win if you don't have a move that can hit it. But I do think Obstagoon could be sneaky. Cottony is very sneaky, and so is Butterfree. So he's got a lot of sneakiness, and this looks like a team that I would have drafted a while back. And I think I find out at the end of the season I didn't draft enough offense. So I hope that's not the case, except for the week I face him. I hope it is. But I'm going to eat these words in week 5 when I face him, I think. I think it's week 5 I face him. But I think this is... I think this is the worst team we've seen yet, and that's not because it's awful. I just don't think I've seen a worse one yet.
This is probably gonna have to go into the D tier as much as I love Aaron himself.
I know. If you disagree with me, that's cool.
We're talking about the draft. We're not talking about the player.
Well, we'll talk. We have. That's our next video, talking about the quality of player.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's personality is
is dog shit.
Is poopy. All right, so let me go over here. Sorry, Aaron. You've been dubbed the D tier. We might have another one down there.
We might, yeah. Don't worry, Kev's is still there.
But for what it's worth, we also had a lot of people rated Tevis's team a couple seasons ago as one of the worst teams, and I think he finished 6-2. So,
yeah,
you know, prove
it's
us wrong.
still one of the worst teams. It's still one of
the... I don't even have the team up, but I think we have our first S tier, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think it's
that's
even
what I was
close.
thinking at the beginning. I was going to say at the beginning, oh my god, Octo's team.
I don't even want to look at it. Why don't we just move on?
Yeah,
we'll just put it there and move on. So,
just put it in the S tier.
Okay, so why is this an S tier to you?
Because of how strong Bewear is in the anime. Everybody knows that the anime strengths lend over to the game. That's why Pikachu dodges all the attacks. That's why Charizard literally wins every time. That's no, but Octo can hit you super fast, super hard, can hit you super slow, super hard. Octo made a really, really good team this time. I don't know about the Jigglypuff. I think Octo just picked Jigglypuff because it gets Friend Guard.
Yep, that's
oh my god, it gets Friend. Never mind. Octo's team is super slow and super the super fast hit you super hard, and the super slow hit you super hard.
Just start throwing out buzzwords like
yeah,
fast, you're just strong, slow.
You're just gonna get hit really hard. Like literally some of the highest attack, I think some of the overall attacking stats that we've seen, and that's not even including Wishy-Washy because apparently it's not in the stats.
Yep,
for some reason.
I could add them in, but it would mess things up. The sheet doesn't like when you manually do things. So, yeah, this isn't even including Wishy-Washy stats. And here's why I think it's number 1.
Yep.
147, 140, 135, 125, 125, 110. That's just physical offense. And then the Wishy-Washy's 140, I believe. Yeah. Special. 140 again, 134, 125, 125, 112, 110. And here's the other thing as well. It's not like he just has a bunch of offense. Look at the speed difference. You've got 120 with speed control, by the way. So his fastest mon does get Icy Wind and Airstream. Then you've got 115, 110, 97. So that's pretty high up, and his mid tiers can be enabled by Icy Wind at -1s because they're just fast enough to outspeed things at -1.
Yeah.
And then on the slow side, you got Jigglypuff at 20, 20, 30, 56, 60. He's got a really good slow mode and a fast mode. Okay, but can he set it up? Well, he's got Slowking Galar. He's got the Trevenant that also sets it. Yeah, like it's just... does Azelf get it? I forget.
Yeah, Azelf gets Trick Room, I believe.
Okay, well then that's 3 then. And people don't ignore the fact that a fast mon does get Trick Room. It's kind of sneaky. And Orbeetle. Let's not forget Orbeetle gets it as well. So he's got ways of setting Trick Room up a lot of different ways. He's got crazy sweepers in both, Wishy-Washy and SCAV in the Trick Room side, and we don't even have to talk about the fast mode. Shell Smash, like Tailwind. This is the S-iest S tier that ever S'd.
Yeah.
So
definitely,
at least so far.
Not to mention Inteleon just being that good of a Gigantamax Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this was Octo's draft when he didn't get what he wanted. So
Yeah, he got sniped on the Snorlax.
Snorlax.
Imagine Snorlax on this team, but then he wouldn't have
Yeah,
gotten Azel for SCAV, so I guess there's that.
yeah,
So it probably would have been about the same, if not maybe slightly worse. But
yeah.
I think I like this team better than the Snorlax rendition.
Yeah,
But
I think he did just fine.
he did just he did all right, I guess. You know,
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah.
he didn't do you know. So that one was nice and easy. But let's go over to Cascade Illusions.
Second D tier. Second.
Yeah, I think I'm not a huge fan. Like
Really, always joking.
he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
I remember I helped him with his draft prep, and he kind of, he said this is the way he wanted to go. I know he wanted Mudsdale, but he ended up getting Rhyperior. Not a bad alternative, I guess, especially at pick number 10.
Yeah.
So I think he has enough offense, but this is the most frail team in the draft, I think.
Is it
Looking at special defense.
66? Wow.
Yeah, this team is very glass cannon like. So we'll have to see how he plays it. But I do see a lot of pieces. I don't want to get into too much detail of what his team does because I kind of helped him build it. But I do think the team is definitely missing some bulk. So this might suffer in a Dynamax format. But I do believe that it can get up on you pretty quick.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like if you can't kill something, okay, cool. It's going to hit you back really, really hard.
That's the thing.
Yeah, not to mention, he has pretty good speed control too with Tailwind on Aerodactyl, Nuzzle on Bolton, Icy Wind on Frozlass, Icy Wind on Tauros.
Yeah.
Bulldoze on Tauros, Electro Web on Thunderous.
Icy Wind on Basculin. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Basculin.
Yeah, Rock Tomb on Sock. He has really good offensive presence too, with Rhyperior just being an absolute monster if you get the weather up. With Rhyperior, if you get the sand up, like nothing's taking down that thing. Duraludon at least ignores redirection with its ability.
Yep.
And Haunter gets access to all the elemental punches.
Thank God, right?
Yeah.
No, I think that was the nugget we're going to give away about his team, Haunter's physical coverage.
Haunter's physical coverage, don't underestimate it, yeah.
But the one nugget I think I'll give away about his team is there's the obvious Electrify Bolton with the Rhyperior. Keep in mind that he does get Lightning Rod. Lightning Rod will draw in the Electrify, so if he's going to run Electrify, it has to have not Lightning Rod. Just in case people didn't know that. There was a Weedle Twin Needle strat where he actually got Mold Breaker onto Bolton and ran it with a Pikachu, and then he kept on electrifying, and then Pikachu would just draw in all the electric attacks that it made all their moves, and then it just gets stronger and stronger. So that was kind of neat. I don't think he has those tools, but
he has Sock with Mold Breaker. Can
he give it somehow? I guess he can skill swap with Haunter to get the Mold Breaker onto Haunter, and then you skill swap it onto the Bolton, and then you bring in Rhyperior after. Done with Lightning Rod.
Yeah,
that's a free win.
Your 4. That's your 4 that you run the whole season. That's
Tevis, write it down.
Yeah, the Bolton or Sock, Haunter, Bolton, and Rhyperior.
I've forgotten already. Or Thunderous, because it's got Volt Absorb, so that could work too. It just can't have damage done to it. That's scary. Thunderous Therian, actually the first appearance in the WPL as well.
Oh, yeah, that and its little feet.
Oh my god, it's little feet.
It's little. That's why Tevis picked it.
Yeah, for the
disgusting freak.
What a loser picking it. No, 145 special attack's really scary. This was actually one of the mons that we put in our pre-draft video.
Yeah.
We covered it, and we talked about his little feet. So that's kind of cool there that he grabbed it. And so where would you put his team? I'd probably put his team on the lower end, maybe not quite D tier.
D tier, lower C.
Low C, just because we do see some stuff on it. I just think it might be. It's a little frail, and the offense it has some. So it's just, I think the frailty might really hurt him, but he's a good enough player. If anyone can make it work, it's him, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of people that talk
take
funny,
a shot every time.
Speaking of people that talk funny, South Croydon Soars. Crizzle, we love you,
I
dude.
don't know. Yeah, we love our Brits despite their flaws. Parentheses being British, being British.
The biggest flaw being British.
Yeah,
So I like this team. I do.
Yeah.
This is a very
This-
me team. I think this is.
his team's really cool.
Yeah, he made a move. He dropped something to grab Ndidi. What did he grab? He dropped Kingdra to get the Ndidi mail.
Something he didn't need for
Yeah.
something that
He needed.
he needed. Yeah,
He dropped Drapion for Drampa, as you can see here, Drampa.
my
and
heart
then
breaks. But I mean, seeing how many weather teams are running around,
hey, Drapion's available in the free
Yeah,
agents now.
it is. I'm
And
not getting it. I'm not getting
yeah, I'm not kidding. And Crawdaunt
I
was
have-
picked up in all its adaptability glory for the Mr. Rhyme that was there, and that hurts my
Yeah,
heart.
I think this team is super cool.
I think it's
you got-
cool. It's very
it's-
cool.
It's really awesome. I mean, Rotom Wash is an absolute menace.
Rotom Wash is
Chandelure,
really good, yeah.
Ribombe, just for speed
Ribombe.
swap. It's the Braviary just deterring max stat lowering moves with its Defiant.
Yep.
Beat up Justify with Doug Trio and Virizion very fast too.
In the C and the D tier, by the way, getting that
Yeah.
combo, I think that's the cheapest way to get it next to Absol. Unless
Yeah,
Absol's
yeah, it
also
is,
C
'cause-
tier.
Yeah, I think Absol's also C tier, but it's an Absol. So,
It's an absolute piece of crap.
yeah, a piece of garbage.
See what I did
but
there?
Virizion, I was saying before the draft.
You wanted it.
That thing, yeah. I mean, but once Serena got to me, I couldn't say no.
You and I talked about that when it came up. You're like, do I want Serena? I'm like, I think it's really good. I think we
Yeah.
talked about it, and you're like, yeah, I'll get it. It's
And then Virizion went there. I mean, either way, I was getting a Pokemon that I could max hit super strong with the grass move.
Yep.
And get to look at its butt. And
oh boy,
yeah,
it's like
No,
the
but,
Lopunny of the legendary.
yeah, it's
Sword-
it's like the
swords
or
of-
Keldeo, depending on which way you swing.
Yeah, very weak to the Airstream as well, which I do see
Yeah.
4 quad weaknesses on this team as well. Over 3 Pokemon.
So, but the weaknesses are very covered really well with each other. Luxray also getting Intimidate and Guts being 2 very, very good abilities. Just you can switch in and just spam Intimidate and Guts just in case you wanted it to go off. Luxray's coverage isn't as bad as it may seem.
It's really good. I love Luxray.
Heracross being in the D tier is insane. Literally the only pick I'm like, is Aggron. But like that's because it's an Aggron. I think put this thing in I think put this team in the S tier.
Ooh, that high?
I think it's low S tier.
High
Tier-
A
high
tier?
A tier.
High A
High-
tier? Yeah, should we look at Octo's team again?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
think you can put it in the S tier.
Yeah, all right. I'm down for that. Octo can't be
Yeah.
there by himself. He's getting lonely. By the
Yeah.
way, just a little side note, Doug Trio Heracross picks 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was
Can we just
crazy.
and he still ended up with the draft that he got. So, you know what?
Yeah.
Very, very good job drafting, and your free agent moves I think are very good. Yeah, I think Rabombi with speed swap, anything on this team can be enabled. Like imagine speed swapping that Crawdaunt
Yeah.
and then you max and just start. Yeah, yeah. So I think this team is very good. I like the Rotom. I like the Chandelure. I do see it as the only Trick Room setter on this team though, other than Ndidi. So that might be my only concern, which is why I might not want to put it S tier now that I look at it another time. Just because your
But
Trick Room
I think
mode.
just for like the offensive coverage, this is going to offer just for that.
Yeah, I think for me, just giving in, we'll put it in the S tier. Yeah, I do think it's really good.
This video.
I do think it's really good. Yeah, I think you're right about
Yeah.
this not ending the video, but about it being S tier. But the last 3 teams.
Yeah.
So we go
Speaking of finishing last.
Nice. So Kev's made a couple of moves. He ended up grabbing just a couple of D tiers. He dropped out the Quillfish, losing his Intimidate, and grabbing the Azurill and dropping the
Losing
Rapidash
and
Galar.
Intimidate.
Does he have another one? Oh,
Yeah,
Herdier. My bad.
Herdier.
And he dropped the Rapidash Galar, which I thought was really good for Raboot. I think Raboot, we won't really give away it because I don't want to really give away what, like, I know, wink, wink, what it does. But I don't want to kind of give away, maybe the little sneaky thing that people might not know about. But I do see a lot. I think Kevs has a really good team. I think Bulu is an awesome pick. I do think that he is going to run into an issue with his fastest Pokemon being Reboot, but the Unburden users kind of help with that. But
Yeah.
I think Tailwind, okay. This is definitely a slower team for the most part. You could make it quick, but I think that this team is very Scarf heavy. I think you would have to Scarf this team to kind of get it going naturally. But I don't know. What do you think of this team? I think it's good. I like Xurkitree a lot and Bulu.
There's a lot of really good pieces here. Like you said, it's going to be very slow, and I think it's very dependent on the Bulu setting up terrain.
Mm-hmm.
To enable like things going fast. This could be his Pokemon aren't very slow, they aren't very fast. It's a team of a bunch of mid tiers.
Yeah, the Runerigus being the slowest thing. He doesn't really have a Trick Room Sweeper. Like he's got a bunch of mid tier speed stuff. Like Rotom is kind of on the higher mid tier, so like 86, but like 83 Xurkitree, Goodra being 80. Vanilluxe being 79, Bulu 75. Like, I think because of the speed tiers, I'd put this team mid to low. I think this team could work, but after seeing the rest of them, I think this team is going to need a little bit of help. Tailwind is nice.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, and Mandibuzz being a bulky Tailwind is also pretty good too.
Yeah, instead of just getting it up first, it's just getting it up in general because it's so bulky. So I think Mandibuzz was on a lot of people's draft plans. But I do see Airstream and Rotom Fan. Rotom Fan holds a special place in my heart. But I definitely see the Goodra, being enabled by a few things on this team as well.
Yeah.
And the Xurkitree having the highest special attack stat in the format. I think you need to prepare for this thing very, very badly. So yeah. So where would you put this team on the rankings?
Probably in the C tier, honestly.
Would you put it lower than Tevis's team or just above Aaron's team?
Aaron's
getting a little lonely down there.
It is, yeah, but Aaron, I feel like if anybody's going to join him, it's
me. I'm coming.
I'm trying to think. No, I think low C tier I think is fine for Kevs.
Yeah, I do think Tevis has a little bit better of a team than Kevs does because I do see a lot of synergy.
It's a very Kevs. It also is a very Kevs team, so he also just knows how to play a lot of these Pokemon really well.
Yeah, and he'll prove us wrong.
I think definitely. I mean, that Rotom Fan alone, I think, is just going to be carrying this team.
Or rudely, or he'll either do well or be rudely awakened in the Master Ball division for his first season in the Master Ball division. It's not going to be fun. Like once I show my schedule, it sucks. I'll be lucky to win a couple games, but we'll see. But yeah, so we tiered him. Let's go over to Los Angeles Lanoons. 4 moves.
Yeah, here's the D tier. Here's the D tier team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just pop him in there.
Well, let's go over the moves that he made. So he made 4 moves. He did get 3 free ones. Free.
Yeah.
So the first one was Dusclops losing his Trick Room Setter for Dracozolt. Then he grabbed dropped the Durant and grabbed the Mienshao, giving him a solid fake out user. Dropped the Kangaskhan for Scizor. And then he dropped the Noivern for Uxie. So Uxie definitely replacing that Dusclops. It kind of accomplishes the same thing, but not you can't knock off an Eviolite on that. It's very, very bulky as well. So you could definitely tell that all 4 moves kind of worked with one another. And what he lost, he gained back in a couple of different ways. So I don't mind the moves that he made, but I do feel like the team was better with Durant on it.
Yeah, I don't know why he really dropped the Durant, especially in the season with Max. Dropping it for Scizor is kind of a little iffy.
Yeah, like it's a budget. If you wanted to save the tier, you get Scizor, which is kind of a Durant in the B tier, and then you just get value out of it. But I do think Durant was one of the best Pokemon in the format.
Yeah, like you dropped it for like a Mienshao. Like okay,
well, he essentially dropped it for the Dracozolt. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I do think Durant, now that it's available, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody just gobbled that up for week 2. I think if anybody's looking for offense, it is the definition of offense with hustle, and it's 109 attack stat with hustle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just really naturally fast too at 109. I think it's 109. But let's talk about the team he has now. So we went over the 4 moves. So I see huge power.
Yep, I see 2 bunnies, 2 rabbits.
2 rabbits, both with huge power. It's almost like they did it on purpose. This team's not lacking offense, so I'll give him that.
No, it is not. The only thing I'm really iffy about, honestly, is the Regice.
Yeah, I've never liked Regice, but I do see a couple of ways to activate weakness policy on it. But other than weakness policy, I don't see this thing getting going. Yeah, it's a huge special wall, but it is ice type and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how he gets it going. The Fungus is a really nice pick. He actually picked it right before I wanted it. I had it queued up ready to go, and he grabbed it.
I think Fungus is a steal in the D tier.
It's probably
that should have been C tier.
It's arguably the best D tier. I mentioned Persian as well earlier, but I think Fungus just as low budget redirection as you can get next to Ally Switch. I think Fungus was a phenomenal pick in the D tier, and he scooped it up right in I think it was pick 5 he got it. So he definitely prioritized it, so good on him to grab it. Yeah, it went early. The Toxicity is nice. Does he have Tailwind? Yeah, he's got the Xatu with Tailwind. So I think that with Toxicity, the one thing that it struggles with is its speed tier being 75. Yeah, it hits really hard. It just needs a little bit of speed, so he can set that up and then kind of go off with the Tox as well. Are there any other standouts you see on the team other than the obvious Hustle, Dragozolt, and the Sand Rush? You see getting Sandstorm as well. And then the Azumarill with Belly
Not a
Drum.
huge fan of the manual Sandstorm.
Yeah, the manual Sandstorm's a little interesting. It's bulky enough to get it set up, so it would probably be a 2-turn setup, like a Protect Sandstorm turn 1, and then you Dynamax turn 2 kind of thing. But I do think the Diggersby's probably one of the scarier things on this team. The Azumarill gives my team a little bit of a headache, but knowing it doesn't. We were talking about this earlier in the video. Is like things that don't need help. Those 2 things don't need help. Azumarill's bulky enough to kind of go off on its own. If it Dynamaxes, it's going to be hitting immediately hard. Diggersby, it doesn't hit as hard. I feel like it. Well, it's not as bulky. So like I feel like you can answer Diggersby a little easier than Azumarill, but Diggersby is still really scary nonetheless. Standouts?
None really. I mean, the huge power Pokemon. Other than that, honestly, I'm not really a big fan of this team.
It's pretty average, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like pretty mid tier. Like it's got the pieces. It's just they're kind of like poor pieces. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got Tailwind, but it's Xatu Tailwind. You got Redirection, but it's Rage Powder.
I think even this team. Let's try to rank it right now, real quick.
Yeah, and then we'll go over the worst team after.
Oh, man, I actually don't like the LA's team at all.
Would you put it D tier or low C?
I put it like C, like behind Kev's. Honestly, is what I would put it.
Yeah, I was thinking mid to lower mid. So like realistically, I'd probably put it somewhere around here. But anywhere in this C tier, I think is probably fair.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let's meet in the middle.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, Kev.
Sorry, Kev.
Step aside. But the worst team in the draft coming up. Speaking of pieces of shit.
Speaking of leftovers. Speaking of
you want to talk about scrounging to make a draft work.
Jesus, yeah. Okay, so the team we have a couple pieces here. So for the A tiers we have Meowstic, Stack Attack, a Hydreigon. For the B tiers there's Helios, Togepi, Silvally. C tiers Lurantis, Anaconda, Starmie. D tiers Kingler, Swoobat, Flygon. I think this team definitely has pieces to make it work. Hydreigon, Stack Attack, and Meowstic are really, really strong A tiers. Meowstic just being the jack of all trades, master of prankster,
master of everything.
Yeah,
I picked it first for a reason.
Yeah, Meowstic literally gets everything
except for Taunt. By the way, that's one little nugget.
Except for Taunt. Well, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Stack Attack is it's insane that any of the beasts aren't banned and that isn't banned. Stack Attack is just a monster in Trick Room. Yeah, it's quadruple weak too. um fighting, and it has some weaknesses, but it's a stack attacker. Like,
Yeah, it does. It does have a couple quads, but with those defense stats, I think I can make it work somehow. But yeah, I do see ways of making this work. I grabbed the Togepi to kind of make up for, being sniped a couple of times throughout the draft, which just happens. But yeah, the Togepi I think kind of is what holds this team together for the most part.
I also like the Silvally pick.
Yeah, the Silvally is just nice. I couldn't grab a fire type that was any good because I missed out on the Centiskorch and Magmortar, so I kind of had to
Mhm.
scrounge. Believe it or not, Silvally was actually left over near the end of the draft. I think it was my second last pick.
I mean, it gets one of the few parting shots.
Yeah, parting shot, snarl. It gets any type coverage it wants with multi attack. So I think it can work and be a very very nice piece week to week. I think probably my two most value picks I grabbed were Kingler and
Yes.
Sandaconda. I think those two mons, being able to grab those in the lower tiers, I think kind of made my draft at least somewhat salvageable. Like I grabbed Kingler early because I'm like, look, I got to make the most out of my D tier, and grabbing the Kingler when I did, I think I grabbed it fifth round or fourth round or something.
Mhm.
Just because I knew how good it was. I think it's probably the best D tier over top of Fungus and the other and Persian.
I mean, that G-Max move just
Yeah, minus
damn,
two
yeah.
speed on your opponents, both of them actually, which is crazy.
Yeah, right
So,
off the bat. And I mean, just not to mention Sheer Force Life Orb.
yeah, wide guard, things like that as well. Like it gets pretty
Mhm.
pretty good coverage too. It can kind of hit a lot of different ways. So, yeah. So I may do like I'm not a huge fan of the end of my draft. I don't know how other people look at it, so I'll let you kind of tier it. But yeah. So where would
Yeah,
you
I
put
think-
this?
B.
B tier, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Low
it's,
B?
I think it's fun. Yeah, low B.
Oh,
It's yeah. I think it's like little weird picks, but in this format, I think Stack Attack a Hydreigon is going to do wonders for you. Lurantis is not something to overlook. Starmie is better than you think it is. Everything here is better than people give it credit for.
that's what I'm hoping for. Unless you tell them,
Yeah,
like you just did.
Yeah.
Everything here is better than it has face value, and all I say is look out for Swoobat. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, look out for Flygon. Look out for.
Yeah, look out for Flygon to be on the free agent list next week. So
Yeah.
so that pretty much does it. Any final thoughts on the rankings of teams? Is there anything we need to move around? And also, is this going to translate to the top 8 teams being S through B?
I don't think it is.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see how everyone lays out. But congrats to everybody on the draft. Sorry, Aaron, you're the only D tier, but I think your team's maybe 1 or 2 free agent moves from being S tier.
Yeah, dude, just lean into the rain, dude. Just
Honestly, I think he has so much good support too. Even one
yeah, he
move
just
would
needs to
probably
get
make
more
him.
Yeah.
One move could make him in the A tier. I think. I just think he's missing that one piece.
Aaron, grab Durant. Grab Durant,
Oh my
Aaron.
god! Don't encourage that. Wait, recommend it to somebody that I'm not facing this season.
No, because look, go back to Aaron's team, and get rid of let's Inglorious Surfers. Get rid of
Registeel.
Dude, get rid of the Registeel. Grab Durant. I'd say even switch out the Shedinja.
I think Shedinja, like whenever I prep with people, I always say 2 things. I always say, no, I gotta come up with 2 things. I always say that what's a want and what's a need. That's 2 things. I think a need, for example, is offensive coverage. Obviously, you need to counter your weaknesses and things like that. Those are needs. But wants are just like fun things. Things that you don't 100% need, but like you can make them work and things like that. I think unless you check off all those boxes, I think you need to stay away from wants rather than needs, and I think Shedinja is a want. So I think Shedinja being in the C tier, I don't know what else is there. I think one piece could change this whole team. Ditto is also a little bit of a want. I think these 2 are probably where you'd make moves.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think Ditto's fun and Shedinja's fun, but I guess it depends on what you're going for. Like I think if you change those 2 for, say, naturally offensive threats, maybe like a Cursula, or does he even have a Trick Room Setter? No.
No.
Well, you need one of those. That's a
Yep.
need, in my opinion. I think that's a need. And then maybe a sweeper like a Cursula and I don't know, something that sets Trick Room. But that's just a my opinion thing. I think his D tiers, he nailed it. I think all three of them are great. You know, I think don't change any of those. Those are three of the best D tiers you can get. I think the Cottony is phenomenal. Pikachu's great value in the C tier, I think.
Pikachu's amazing. I
Yeah.
want nothing but Pikachu to go off this season.
Nice. Butterfree's really nice with redirection. He's got the Cottony, which is really good, enabling things. Obstagoon can literally lower any stat in the game. And then Barraskewda is just a nuke. And then you've got the Weather Setter. So I think this team is really good. It's just, I think that you need to, you know, not saying anyone specific, even though we're on his team, literally talking to him saying, make these moves. But yeah. See, but that's the thing, though. We look at this list. You can go from a D tier to an A tier when one
Just with a couple moves. Yeah.
one or two moves, right? So, and I'll be making those this week, so maybe we can assess it next week after I make a few of them. So, I've got my eye on something specific. Hopefully, no one knows what it is. It might have been dropped last
nobody
week.
knows.
It might have been dropped last week.
Who knows? Not us.
Who knows? Anyway, but yeah.
I think that's all we have for y'all today.
I think
right?
that's all we have for today. So, so thank you for tuning in. We went a little long. I got to go to a family thing. So, so fun times.
Yeah.
Gustavo,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We'll catch y'all later. We'll see y'all next week
Okay.
on the WPL Power Spot.
Peace.
We'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
It's the
How
World
many times do you
Pokemon
say bye?
League, number one draft league you could ever see. Getting stronger, yeah, I'm building up my own team. Gotta be the champion, the one you can't defeat. It's the World Pokemon League, number one draft league you could ever see. Getting stronger, yeah, I'm building up my own team. Gotta be the champion, the one you gotta